Hello again. Christos Anesti, Christ is risen. Welcome back to the 35th week of the Religious Education Initiative. Day 2, we're going back to the Didache. Again, as we said, the earliest text from the life of the Church outside of the New Testament. Now, the Didache has two parts. The first describes the way of life and the way of death, and the second gives general instructions for the life of the Church. Now, we actually started the second part 2 weeks ago with the basic guidance for how to fast, if you remember. We're going to continue with some other instructions for the Christian life, including this week, how to baptize, when to fast, and how to pray. So, concerning baptism. Now, concerning baptism, baptize as follows. After you have reviewed all these things, baptize in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, in running water. But if you have no running water, then baptize in some other water. And if you are not able to baptize in cold water, then do so in warm. But if you have neither, then pour water on the head 3 times in the name of Father and Son and Holy Spirit. And before the baptism, let the one baptizing and the one who is to be baptized fast, as well as any others who are able. Also, you must instruct the one who is to be baptized to fast for 1 or 2 days beforehand. But do not let your fasts coincide with those of the hypocrites. They fast on Monday and Thursday, so you must fast on Wednesday and Friday. Nor should you pray like the hypocrites. Instead, pray like this, just as the Lord commanded in his gospel. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debt, as we also forgive our debtors. And do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the power and the glory forever. Pray like this 3 times a day. So, a few things from this. First of all, it's always been an argument in the Church how to go about doing a baptism. And sometimes people will say that if you don't succeed in baptizing a child completely, if you didn't get them all the way under the water, then it doesn't count somehow, or various different arguments. This passage from the Didache kind of makes a point. This is a silly argument, because it sets the clear parameters, the clear goal. How are we going to baptize? It says, well, you baptize by immersing someone in, the word in Greek is actually in living water, but we understand this means in running water. So you're supposed to baptize in a local stream or river. I once saw a church overseas where, to be legalistic about this, they had a baptistry inside of a building, but there was an inlet stream where water could flow in and then flow out again. So if you were picky, you could be baptized in living water, but it had been diverted from outside into the church and then back outside again. It seems a little bit legalistic, and the whole point of the instructions here is not legalistic, because it says, ideally, in running water, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. But if you don't have living water, then you can baptize in whatever water you have, and if you don't have cold water, then warm water is fine. I think it's funny that they were more likely to have warm water than cold water, but, who knows? And then it says, but if you don't have enough water to baptize in, by immersion, then you can pour over the head. So they set it up pretty clearly that baptizing is important enough that you might not be able to have the ideal circumstances, but it still needs to be done. Now you'll notice it talks a lot about how you can use all kinds of different water scenarios. The one thing you cannot change is that you baptize in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. The faith is essential. The intent is essential. We are obeying Christ's command. We are invoking the Holy Trinity. We are submitting ourselves to God and being faithful to Him. But the details of exactly how we do that, there's actually a lot more room for how we put that into practice, even with something as straightforward as baptism. So the same thing we can apply more broadly to, how do we fast? Different people have different rules given to them by a spiritual father. Even how do we live? Not everyone has to have the same job or do exactly the same thing. But the intent, the purpose, the point of being united with Jesus Christ in obedience to the church, in submission to the authority of the Lord, that part, that's essential. So there's more we could talk about, but we'll leave that as enough for today. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.